Welcome, everyone,
Oh,
to San Antonio by Night Aftermath, Season 2, Episode 1, where our coterie and possibly other things are going to be on the hunt. We rejoin the Iconoclasts after they have taken some time to recover both emotionally and physically from their ordeals. Over the last 2 weeks, Noel and Faust started their venture into the world of cryptocurrency. Noel finished learning a ritual he'd been meaning to spend time on, and Maria spent some time with Samantha and Carnage, and Ray spent time getting to know the animals and the unfortunate of the area in their domain. Today is December 3rd, 2020, and the holiday season is in full swing. Lights and decor cover the lawns and houses of the Gardendale neighborhood, and the nights continue to get shorter. The news of the shooting that went down in the local park gathered the attention of the local police during the last 2 weeks, and while no evidence came to light as to who might have been involved, the local authorities have taken to calling it an act of gang violence. No one was found injured or killed as a result, and no one in the neighborhood saw or heard anything. So the authorities have simply suggested that everyone steer clear and protect their houses as a result. The San Antonio police have been seen a lot more in the area, hoping to crack down on suspicious activity. The police also discover Faust's car, abandoned on the side of the road leading out towards the outer loop. Plates missing, but nothing else removed or stolen from it. It's been since been towed, investigated, and returned to Faust, new plates and all. With the news going on in their neighborhood, there has also been news in the world of the kindred as well. Baron Jameson has made it known that the agent Sebastian Moore has been brought to final death, and made the other barons aware that there were hunters out amongst the city. He made the suggestion that anyone not integral to the city's function keep an extremely low profile, as the masquerade must be maintained. Baron Jameson reiterated to his domain that any violators of the masquerade would be removed. He personally informed the Iconoclasts that they were on extremely thin ice at this point. But tonight, they've been summoned to Empire Plaza, the location of the Anarch Elysium, to come collect someone Baron von Dventgau zu Altenburg wants removed from her domain. And thus, we pick up the scene at the Anarch Elysium, where an unfortunate kindred has been taken. Bryan, you and another man, a very tall man, very bulky man, are sitting in the very comfortable and lush fixtures of the Anarch Elysium. He stands towering, watching the door, his
I,
occasionally combing his fingers through his bright red and black hair.
I will sit there politely and just wait.
He seems a little impatient at this point. It's already been, an hour since you were brought here?
Yeah.
Not really much in the way of conversation's been going on. He's been eyeing you, kind of sizing you up, just kind of staring.
That's fine. I'm not moving or making any attempt to provoke him. I'm waiting as I was told to.
At some point, he eventually moves away from the door and starts walking towards a couch and kind of sits there lazily and just kind of looks at you.
I'll turn my and
What
look
did
back.
you do?
I have no fucking clue, dude.
Velda's pretty easygoing. What did you do to piss her off? That's got me curious.
It has me as curious as you. I honestly have no fucking clue.
Right. Cool. Okay. Well, where are these fuckers?
On their way.
Kind of looks at a watch. Maybe a fake watch. He doesn't really wear a watch. Well, hope they get here soon, because I got shit to do.
I'm sure you do. I would honestly rather be anywhere else than here at this moment.
Kind of just eyes you up and down. Right. Sure.
Don't get me wrong, I'm going to take every opportunity to enjoy the one trip I get to Elysium. And I'm not moving until I absolutely have to.
Shortly after he comes to sit down next to you, you do hear a door open.
Of course.
And four people that you've never met, Bryan, appear coming down the stairs.
I will be ready to move if I have to, but I'm not going to make any overt reaction or showing that signs that if I have to fight, I'm going to go down swinging.
The man that you have come to know to be named Benji stands up from the couch and looks at the four of them and says, "You the ones?"
I presume so. Your local welcoming committee. Nice to meet you.
Great. Fantastic. Pleasure to meet you.
The name's Faust. This here is a Hurray.
What's up?
This is Noel. And this is Maria.
Greetings.
At this point, I will stand up and step forward. My name is Bryan. Not necessarily a pleasure, but still a pleasure to meet you all.
Whoa, we got a ginger Santa Claus. Nice beard, mate.
That's what I thought too.
I didn't get your name, big guy.
Name's Benji.
Ray's face lights up with recognition. She's like, Benji, I might want to have a chat with you at some point.
About what?
I'm just on the tail of looking for somebody. I heard that you might know something, but we'll get to that later.
Nah, we're in fucking Elysium. You might as well.
I heard you were, running on the tail of, a legend. Urian Doyle?
A legend, huh?
Supposedly.
That's the word going around.
Well, as far as I'm aware.
Right.
I'm kind of looking for him.
You see his brows kind of furrow narrowly. What for?
I'm just curious to know whether he exists.
I mean, what's that matter to you?
The bridge of his brow.
It doesn't. I'm just curious. You know?
Wow. Feisty much. Alright. Well,
Show you feisty.
Oh, God, hooray, please stop. Just stop. ST,
Uh-huh.
I would like you to make a politics roll concerning this here Mr. Cortez.
Yes, that's an intelligence politics, if you want to know more about who he is.
I'd like to second that.
You can roll individually.
I want to make an insight roll.
What are you trying to glean?
If there's any kind of fighting about to happen between any of these people, I want to know it before to make a move.
Then roll me a wits insight.
All right. Any
No,
modifier?
no modifiers. No, Faust, you would understand. You would both understand that Benji Cortez is one of the enforcers of Baron von Schwentgau zu Altenburg's domain. Noel, you would know specifically more. You would know that given the Camarilla came into the city, he was integral in removing a Camarilla scourge from New York named Hugh from this domain. That Hugh was a very powerful kindred, and Benji took him down single-handedly.
Do I know anything else regarding Benji's relationships with other kindred in the city at the moment?
You would know that he is a member of the Host, that his other coterie members would be M, Velda, and Amber, and Urian Doyle, back when he was around.
Noel is gonna come up and gently put a hand over his shoulder, and he's just like, Ray, I hate to say this, but this one's way too big for you. He tore a
I'm
scourge
sure he
apart
is.
He tore a scourge apart single-handedly when the Camarilla were invading 12 months ago.
Oh, you
And
heard about that, huh?
yeah, I was here in the city, just minding my own business. I didn't want any part of what was going on.
Smart lad.
But no, the people who he hangs out with, I wouldn't want to get on their bad side.
No.
I mean, Barrett aside.
No. Stop talking, mate. I'm being an asshole. That's all.
And Brian, that's about what you would garner. Is Ahurai's just being a little shit, and Benji's kind of
Yeah.
eating it up.
I
Yeah.
assumed as much.
Noel
I
is
didn't
exasperated,
expect
but there's
any
no whoops, sorry. Yeah. No, what Brian would get from Noel is that Noel is exasperated, but there's no chance that there's gonna be any like fists or anything else flung. There's no fight that's gonna break out. It's just he's like, Ahurai's being a little shit, and Noel's just like, why? Why are you doing this?
Ray looks back to Benji, and she's got this big shit-eating grin on her face, and she's like, "So you're a pretty big fish, huh?"
Back to business. Mr. Cortez is indeed pretty big fish. I'm hoping perhaps we can maintain an amicable relationship.
Well, as long as you get this fucker off this fucking domain, whatever.
What'd he do?
Yeah.
Upset the Baron.
What'd you do?
Not
No.
a fucking clue.
Noel frowns.
I see
Balance
that
card.
the Or
Oh, go ahead.
she ends up looking to Benji. Maria just kind of eyes him up and down, then looks to this new acquaintance of theirs. Hi. Just I'm a little curious. Who was teaching him? It got him so mad with the Baron now. It wasn't you, was it, Benji? I mean, guess I wouldn't be surprised. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Maria. Please. Mr. Cortez is an upstanding gentleman within von Svenka zu Altenburg's domain.
That being said, Bryan came to the domain, what was it, a couple of months ago?
No more than 5 or 6.
It's at this point I would like to make an insight.
Is that versus Bryan?
Versus Benji, actually.
Okay.
Because Maria knows that name. She knows his sire. They talk. And she's trying to see if that little quip has just ended up, did it fly right over his head, or is he picking up what she just...
I personally didn't hear you, so...
Oh, okay. No, I thought you did.
I meant about the apple falling not far from the tree.
Far from the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't in reference to Bryan. That was in reference to Benji talking about carnage.
Yeah.
Because I was like... I didn't hear that comment, so what... So, if... Roll me an
She
insight.
ended up making a point of, if Benji was responsible for Bryan, then it might be a case of the apple not falling far from the tree.
Yeah, roll me an insight.
Okay. Two successes, not going to push it.
Strangely enough, it seems like he might not have caught it, or he's blowing it off.
She's keeping her eyes firmly on Benji. She doesn't really register the new coming.
So yeah, Bryan came to the domain, like anybody who does, and well, next thing I know is Velda's angry because she got wind of something. I don't know what. Nor do I really care, honestly. So, he wants to live. He wants to go somewhere else. So, I'm under the understanding that Baron Jameson was the one who wanted him. So.
We'll gladly take him under our wing.
Fantastic. Now, if there's no further business, I'm gonna make my way back to my own the rest of my goddamn domain, and I got shit to do tonight. So you all have a wonderful night.
Well, actually, if it'd be alright, Mr. Cortez, I'd like to end up taking a minute with you, if it's all the same to you.
You and Ray both. I mean, what do you want to talk to me for? Nobody important.
Your family.
Family?
I would like to incite that one,
He's gonna incite you too.
because that's not a piece of information that Ray was given.
Plain Jane, I'll choose to auto fail.
The fuck do you mean we're family?
At that mention, Noel's gonna turn to Faust and Brian and be like, They wanna a minute alone with Mr. Cortez. We're gonna wait outside for them.
I will follow you, Noel.
And Noel is going to walk up the stairs, beckoning Faust and Brian to follow him out.
I will be right behind you.
Alright. So Faust, Noel, and Brian all head outside. Benji starts starts walking up and starts getting in close to you, Maria. I said, the fuck do you mean we're family?
Ray would actually impose herself there a little bit. Try and keep a little bit of distance between them.
You know, to clarify, I'm led to believe that you have a certain relation with an uncle of mine. He goes by Carnage.
Right.
I'm led to believe that doesn't make you none too happy.
Nah. Nah. So, what? And hooray, it doesn't take you activating Sense the Beast. You understand that this man is mad. He's angry about this.
Maria, this really isn't a button you should be pushing.
Maybe. I thought it was only courteous to end up letting Benji know where I was coming from.
Right.
No,
And
now I want nothing to do with you fuckers. If you're... what do you... Okay.
You have
Wait.
questions.
Wait. I get it. You don't like him. I don't know why. Don't know what the issue is there. Not my business. But that's got nothing to do with the questions that we've got to ask. Well, at least that I've got to ask. I don't know about Maria.
I'll tell you what. Clearly I'm upsetting you. And I don't like to see you upset. I really don't. Just thought at the very least I should end up making acquaintance. And be straight with you. I'm told that's the way you prefer it.
Okay.
So I understood this was going to be tricky business, but now that I've done so, and clearly you don't want anything to do with me right now, I am doing everything I can to be as cordial about this, as I understand it's upsetting. I will end up stepping away right now because...
No. You're not going anywhere.
Well, it's clear that Ray here wants to end up asking you some questions, and if I'm just disrupting that, then... by golly, I wouldn't know what to end up thinking.
Both of you are right now. So, either way you flip it, I might be flipping out on you here in a second.
Not my intention. But if
So-
me staying will end up putting a little bit more calm, if that's the way you want to play it, then we're playing by your rules.
Then answer my question. Why do you know the name Carnage? And why do you have any knowledge as to what our relationship is?
Like I said, he's my uncle.
Your uncle. Fat chance.
Your sire and mine used to be very close. And we both got stuck in the same goddamn boat. What makes this worse is that right now, the only one who came to end up stepping up to me before I met up with these fine folk was the man that caused you to want to end up flipping the table right now. So given he's been like an uncle to me, I view you as a cousin.
Right.
And I would not skip the opportunity to say hello to family.
He's not family.
Blood says otherwise.
I don't care what the blood says. He's not family to me.
If
So-
you ever need it.
Whatever the fuck that makes us, I don't know. You seem cordial enough, but right now, I don't want anything to do with Carnage. So if you're associating with him,
You kick Bryan out. So understand what our entire coterie is. We're the dumpster. We're the throwaways. Thought you might understand a bit, but I'm sorry I was mistaken. My apologies, Mr. Cortez. I was excited to meet you, and now it's...
the shit that Jameson does.
How you... what you mean? What you mean by that, if you don't mind me asking?
Creating a coterie of a dumpster fire?
Well, guess it's all us in one place. I thought you would know and understand it. I won't pry into why you asked me not to. I'm being polite, best I can be. Ray here has some questions. I will answer whatever questions I can if you have as well. Honestly, I was kind of... You know what? That's for another time. When you're ready.
Let's get one thing straight.
You want nothing to do with it. That's the end of it, right?
Carnage is a monster. If you know what's best for you, you'll stay away from him.
Mr. Cortez, you know what I am? Out of curiosity, you ever hear me? I don't have much of a reputation, I get that. I didn't do much to end up getting one outside of being the only one of mine in the city. And until I get a better example and a better view on what I am, well, I gotta work with what I'm given. Thing is that they end up calling us fiends for a reason. I'm trying to live that down for the most part.
Okay.
So, Ray here, been like a big sister to me.
Fair
I
enough.
feel like I've made the mistake of screwing up her opportunity, so I hope that at the very least any animosity in this particular conversation is directed towards me, not her. She did nothing to end up deserving it. I'm the one who ended up opening up my fat mouth and ended up digging myself deeper than a cornstalk. Does he just have a look of confusion on his face at this point?
A little bit, yeah.
Good. Confusion we can work with. Anger, not so much.
Do we want to
Gee.
take a seat and proceed with this conversation in a little bit of a less tense fashion?
I think the whole point of an Elysium is so that we can't make tensions much more than this. But again, Mr. Cortez, if you want, I'll take a step back. She purposely takes a step back. I'm gonna get out of the way of this conversation if you want me to still be here. In case something comes up, fantastic. If not, I can show myself to the door.
Just get out.
As you wish. She walks by. Slight apologetic look to Ray, and she starts to walk out.
Meet up with you in a bit, Maria.
Sure thing.
Ray gestures to the seats.
Benji goes to one of the couches and just kind of flops on it. Kind of heavily, actually. And it sinks underneath him a little bit. He just kind of... He seems tense in the seat, though. He's not relaxed. He's just eyeing you. Unblinking.
Ray sits across from him, leaning forward, elbows rested on her knees. It's relaxed posture, but there is clear tension in her shoulders. Look, we didn't want to come in here and make an enemy out of you. So before you start thinking like that, which you probably already are, but before you start thinking like that, that wasn't the intention.
First you start popping your mouth off, and then you start bringing up shit that doesn't involve you.
Maria's Samitsi. And Carnage is about the only person that's given her a chance. Given her any answers.
Is that what this conversation's about?
Nah. But I figured you deserved a bit of an explanation.
I don't want a fucking explanation here.
As for me, my questions relate to Yuri and Doyle, which I'm led to believe you were running with him for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I was.
And I'm wondering if he's still around.
Who the fuck knows?
So nobody knows anything.
Nobody that I know.
So he just fucked off, disappeared off the face of the planet.
It's about how it went, yeah.
Did he die a year ago, or?
He just kind of throws his hands up in an I don't know gesture. Last I saw him was outside this building.
And then he just disappeared into the night.
Last I saw him was he was walking off with the motherfucker Kyle A. Calhoun, and that's the last I saw of both of them. So, whatever the fuck happened after that.
Alright. So there's a chance that he's still around.
Yeah, there's a chance. He's smart.
How smart we talking?
Probably the smartest guy I ever met.
Interesting.
Now he was like family to me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How do you get like that?
By just being good person? Question mark? I don't know.
Benji, let's be real here. There's no such thing as a good person among kindred.
Well, you can try.
You can try. It doesn't get you anywhere but dead.
Yeah. But he's also the smartest kindred that was able to get the fucking Camarilla to back down. So, if
You
the...
don't get Camarilla to back down by being a nice person.
No. But he was nice enough.
Right, right. Would you tell me more about him?
What is there to know?
I don't know. You see, I'm kind of new in this city. Kind of new in this country.
Yeah.
And hearing a legend about anarch war baron,
I mean,
it's kind of got my interest a little bit piqued.
Doesn't that about sum it up? The Anarchs went to war. He kind of led the whole thing.
Yeah, but I want to know who this man was. And honestly, if I can find him, I'd like to learn from him.
Okay.
Who knows? Maybe he can teach me a thing or two about how to take down a Kami city.
Now, why in the fuck would you want to know that?
Everybody's got shit in their past.
I mean, that's kind of the idea behind this city, is a haven.
Yeah. And I'm probably only here temporarily.
Well, long enough to get your shit together and go back, right?
That's exactly right.
Well, I mean, I'm not exactly the smartest crayon in the box, so your point, basically what my job was with Urian was he points me at a target and I go beat the shit out of him, so
So you were his heavy hitter.
yeah, pretty much.
Interesting. You must have some skills.
I mean, he kind of points at his physique, which is he's ripped. I mean, this guy has got he's beefy and he's tall. He looks like he was a professional fighter.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Only makes sense,
Hard
doesn't
to
it?
miss, I suppose. So, if you're related to, you'd be Bruja, right?
Yeah, I'm Bruja.
Well, in all fairness, share of information, my clan is Gangrel.
I don't know many Gangrel.
Yeah, well, we tend to keep to ourselves, or in
Yeah.
our own little groups, as far as I know.
Tend to keep to Jameson's domain.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure the Toreador running this domain or the Ventru running the other domain would be really all that interested in me. You heard what Maria said? We're the trash heap.
There's got to be a reason for that.
There are plenty of reasons for that. More like we've been put in the too hard basket, you know?
Right.
But,
Well, it seems like a perfect place for good old Bryan.
what, the too hard basket?
Not whatever the dumpster analogy you were saying.
Fuck, that's nasty. What did he do to piss you off?
I didn't do anything to piss me off particularly.
So keen to toss him in the dumpster. Must
Well-
have done something.
That's Velda's prerogative.
Yeah, but you're backing it up.
I've learned to trust her, so.
I mean, that's fair.
Velda's coterie.
You're,
Velda's family.
yeah, like Maria is for me. Benji, I'd be interested in getting to know you a little bit better, if you'd be down for it.
I'm not exactly one to sit and chit-chat.
I'm not normally either.
Then what the fuck are you talking about?
You're a fighter, right?
Yeah?
So am I. Maybe there's something there that we can connect on.
Well, I don't imagine that you guys getting Bryan is gonna mean that you guys are particularly welcome back in this domain, so you know of a place?
Not yet, but I'll find somewhere. Any way that I can contact you?
Sure. And he pulls out like a sheet of paper and writes down a number. That is for the bar where I usually hang out.
Alright. Nice to know.
You'll get staff, but just tell them you want to talk to the big guy. They'll know who you're talking about.
I'll keep that in mind. I wish I had a contact number to give you, but I don't use phones normally.
Well, that's why I gave you the number to my the place where I hang out. So, do you have a place where you hang out?
Not really. I'm kind of in Marjani's domain.
Marjani's domain.
Yeah.
Isn't she one of Jameson's heavies?
Yeah. As far as I know.
You got stuck with her.
Well, she really doesn't like us much either.
I wonder why, he says sarcastically.
There's a few reasons. And we're giving them more reasons by the day, apparently. Like, but,
I shouldn't be seen associating with you. I'm gonna go ahead and go.
Alright. Have a good night, Benji.
Have a good night, Ray. And he goes toward the door to
Ray
leave.
also gets up to leave.
And for all of you, Benji does end up passing all of you as you're making your way through. Maria's joined up with Noel, Faust, and Bryan. And he does pass you by on the way out. He doesn't say anything, he just leaves.
Predictably.
Alright. When Ray makes her way back to the group, she just holds up the note with the number. and gives them all a wink.
Oh,
Making more boyfriends, I see.
Always.
Your harem is expanding. Fantastic.
By the night. By the night. Feeling jealous, Noel?
I just don't like that thought. It is remarkably unpleasant.
So,
Also,
Brian, right?
Maria, correct?
That's who I am today, anyway.
Cocks his head at that comment. Looks at you a little sideways.
Don't think about it too much, you hurt yourself.
Mayhap I will, mayhap I won't.
Maybe. Well. Welcome to the Iconoclasts. I'm sorry, I realized that we got through 2 introductions and then everything went sideways, so I never got myself the opportunity to say hello.
Hello.
Say none as a gentleman. And they say chivalry is dead. You just had to dig it up and all.
It still exists. Just a rare commodity these days.
You're gonna find it's getting more rare by the day.
Oh, I'm sure.
Particularly around us.
Of that I have no doubt.
Oh? What makes you think that?
Just listening to what Mr. Benji had to say about y'all.
Mr. Benji really didn't know all that much, eh?
He doesn't know
Nah.
shit. No. Hearing what he had to say about me and what he had to say about y'all lends me to believe he doesn't know shit about a lot of shit.
Well,
they don't keep him around because he thinks.
In a fight.
no. Not be too harsh on on the man.
Hey, it's good fun.
I don't believe I'm being too harsh. He doesn't know shit about me. I belong in a dumpster? What the fuck?
Welcome to the
Oh, you heard
Iconoclasts.
that.
Yep.
Not much.
Get used to that. Also, I'm gonna take this time to point out, Coffee,
Mm-hmm.
ST. You haven't been on the scene overlay.
I know. That's why I'm fixing it.
Okay. But also, I think Jojo got his camera working too, so you'll need to switch the.
Yep, I'll have to do all of that. Hang on.
Alright.
Continuing on.
Yeah.
Shall we get
Yes.
Mr. Ginger Santa Claus here home?
Yeah, I think we should. I think we shall. I don't know where you came up with that. I think we shall.
Where- Oh,
And
my-
He looks like fucking Santa Claus! Except with red hair instead of white.
Home, by the way.
How what?
home.
Where is home, by the way?
Home is on the other side of the city.
Southeast.
Gardendale.
Beautiful, pleasant little neighborhood where the birds are chirping, guns are firing, your dog wants to kill you.
Might
Someone's
run
thinking
across a
pandemic.
blue jay with an Uzi.
That's a bit overkill. Might as well just stick to a pellet gun. Just to
Have
live.
you
No. It's the blue jay that has the Uzi.
I see. So he's defending himself.
Brian, right?
Of correct. A hooray, right?
Yeah. Have you been introduced to Marjani?
I have not.
Ah, fuck. Well, that's going to be our first stop then, I think.
I am, as Benji's told y'all, relatively new to the area. I've not been here more than 6 months, and, well, tonight was my first meeting with Ms. Svenkow, and I don't want to repeat that if necessary, unless necessary.
Look, Brian, I'm gonna be real with you right now. Baron von Sventgals of Waltenberg is, well, it literally could have been anything that irritated her. It could have been anything. You could have looked at her funny. You could
As
have.
I told Benji, I have no fucking clue. I have no fucking clues.
Strange trait amongst Toreadors, weirdly enough. All their little obsessions. But that's enough about that's enough about the shortcomings of Clan Toreador. How about you? Where do you fit in this puzzle of disturbing?
What do you mean?
Well, we all bear a clan here.
Okay.
I'm asking you what yours is.
Again, I have no fucking clue.
You don't know what your clan is.
Not at all.
Well, I think I just discovered. I think we all just discovered.
What?
Oh.
Why Baron von Svenkow zu Altenburg wanted you out.
Mm-hmm. Now that you mention it, that
What
makes
is-
a lot of sense.
What is that? Elucidate, please.
You don't have a vampire daddy. That's the problem.
I do. I had to be how I am, but again, have no fucking clue as to who or what.
Therefore, you have no one to vouch for you. Therefore, as a mystery, you are a problem.
And when you're a problem, you get sent to join where the rest of the problems lie. The Iconoclasts.
Welcome to the club.
I'm still having t-shirts made.
Make mine a 3X. Might not fit otherwise.
Yes, and Brian is very tall. He's 6'8".
So, like, what skills have you got?
What do you mean as far as skills?
I think she's asking on how is it that you can end up contributing so you don't end up dead or dead weight?
Do you punch shit and it dies? Do you talk people to death? What?
I can talk, but I'm not much of a talker. I'm more of a watcher. I can handle myself in a brawl if I have to. I try to avoid those as much as possible, but sometimes you just can't avoid those.
Right.
Myself if I have to.
You're an observer.
Yeah,
You see the things that other people don't.
most of the time.
That could be useful.
Sounds kind of weird to me, but you know.
Well, I mean, quite frankly, if I'm to be honest, all of our eyes are shot.
Speak for yourself.
Right, Ray, 90%, Ray, 90% of the time, 90% of the time, it may not be that you don't have good eyes, it might be that you're too busy currently wailing on someone and you might have a little blood in them.
Yeah, but I got other eyes sitting around.
Whose were they?
Well, like what? But, I think first thing on the agenda is getting Bryan here to meet Marjani. She's not going to be happy with us. Has anybody spoken to Marjani since all the shit went down?
Ray, you know me and Marjani. I avoid that like.
Yeah.
Shit. What shit?
Oh, you'll find out. That's all I'm going to say to you right now. You'll find out about it. But no, I haven't spoken to Marjani either.
Then allow me to begin. I go ahead and message Felix. And I let him know paying rent will be stopping by.
He just sends you back and okay.
And I add on one more thing. We'll be bringing a new edition.
You
Prompts to...
You don't get a response right away.
Courtesy of Baron von Svenkhauser Altenberg. No, don't message that. That's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Courtesy of Queen T.
Of who? Sorry, what did you... I didn't hear the last part. Queen who?
Courtesy of Queen T with a little rose emoji. Hopefully he gets it.
You still don't get a response right away.
Time to take you to meet Aunt Marjani and all of the horror that implies.
Who
She's
is
not
this
gonna be happy.
Marjani?
So, in Baron Jameson's domain, Marjani is one of the domain holders, and we're kind of subletters. So we got to
She's
pay
our
lip
boss.
service to her, and yeah.
Or rather, she's like our supervisor. To use
So
work
he's
terms.
the boss. She's the one you report to directly, if not to Jameson in Jameson's place.
That's about right.
Yeah, about right.
Yeah.
Mm.
Right. Well, I'm gonna get in my car. You got transportation?
No.
All right, jump on in.
All right. I'll get in with Ray.
Ray is actually going to do a quick once-over of her vehicle. Just
And it's a pretty big
double-checking
truck.
it for anything.
And it's a pretty big truck. Hooray doesn't ride in something compact. No, she makes a statement with this vehicle.
Yep.
Is this the kind of truck I'm gonna need a stepladder to climb up into?
Probably.
Lifted truck.
When did
Like
you
it's complete. It's complete with a heavy-ass bull bar. It's got spotties on top. It's big.
I'm assuming it's jacked up, and again, I'm gonna say, where did you steal Bigfoot?
That's my secret.
I will climb up in.
Taking a once over the vehicle. Do I need to do a roll for that one?
No, you don't find anything.
Right.
And so are the five of you headed over to the Eye of the Tiger Sports Bar, where Marjani hangs out?
Yep.
Yeah.
Presumably.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
And so, before the five of you make the drive to the bar, and Bryan, you see that this is a fairly nice, but not over the top kind of bar. It serves food, it serves drinks. It looks like there is a riding bull fake thing over in the corner on one side, and people are kind of gathered around it right now. There is a woman tending the bar, and a gentleman kind of hanging out at the bar that seems pretty interested in her at the moment. There are other patrons. It's pretty busy for a Thursday night.
Now, Bryan, one
Yes.
thing you need to know about Marjani, okay? Above all else, the one thing that always holds true. Remember, she would argue with a fence post.
Okay.
That in mind. It's gonna be a long one.
Huh.
You don't. If you're not involved in the conversation, keep your mouth shut and keep your head down. Outside of that, well, best of luck to you.
Kind of hard to keep my head down with my size. Tend to
Well,
stick
then you
out.
better end up tucking it between your legs before you have to end up kissing your hair, ask goodbye, because, well, at the very least, it'll be a very short trip.
Thank you.
Probably ain't gonna be too happy with this either.
She ain't never happy.
Less
I'm
happy
pretty
than
sure-
usual.
Yeah, but that's her default at this point, right? I mean, let's be honest here. She's been here shouting insults into an empty house before, so.
Ray makes her way up to the bar.
And when you make your way up to the bar, Mac and Felix both notice you.
Faust accompanies Ray.
I'll follow Ray to the bar.
Mac, Felix, having a good night?
Got your text message, Felix says.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
How is
she's-
Miss Kalu doing tonight?
She's in the back.
Felix, if you don't mind, if you could do me a favor.
Kind of
How did
favor.
How did she seem when you gave her the news that we're coming over to pay rent and whatnot?
Well, she was pretty happy about the rent idea. And then you said you're bringing company. And he looks over to Bryan. I'm guessing you're the company?
Company waves and says, "Yeah, I'm company."
Right. He kind of looks to Faust. Cool. Yeah. I'm not sure what kind of mood she's in. She told me to get out, so.
Ah,
I have simply come to recognize that when she asks me to leave, I leave.
This will be when Nolan
Smart
will
man.
walk up. Ah, this is gonna be fun.
Making mental note of everything.
Alright then, let's get the ass chewing out of the way.
Wait.
And so the five of you head back towards the back as the others lead you, Bryan. And when you arrive, you do see you see a door, and one of the others, maybe Faust, knocks on the door, and you hear a woman's voice. Who is it?
It's your favorites.
Come in. And when you enter, you see two people in the room. One is a kind of smaller, red-haired woman who's dressed in kind of a nice coat and a t-shirt, in a skirt. The other is a fairly tall black woman who has her hair braided into very tight braids. Purple, big hoop earrings. And she's kind of leaning back in the chair that she's sitting in, and the other girl is kind of sat there properly across the desk.
Well, good evening, Miss Carlo, Miss Jefferson.
Good evening. You said you're paying rent.
That's correct. Shall we start with that?
Sure.
Wonderful.
Samantha, will you give us a minute? And Samantha says, okay. And kind of gets up from her chair and goes to leave the room.
So, shall we give you the full rundown of the past, give or take 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Just shut the door behind you.
Understood. And Faust ushers everyone in, including Bryan. Make sure everyone is inside and shuts the door. Make sure it's nice and tight. If there's a lock, he goes ahead and clicks it.
Once Sam's also gone, she's heading out
Yeah.
to give Marjani a minute.
Alright. Said you're paying rent. Who is this guy?
This.
My name's Bryan.
Bryan.
Yes, ma'am.
Got a last name? Is it just Bryan?
Matthews.
Fantastic. What you doing here?
In all honesty, no clue.
Marjani looks to Faust. He doesn't know why he's here. Did you bring...
No.
What is this?
Well,
Bryan's a new addition to our coterie.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, courtesy of
One
Victoria
Baron-
Dor and Baron Jameson.
Would have been great if he'd had actually let me know.
Yeah, apparently Baron von Sventgos-Waltenberg wanted nothing to do with him. Met once and she was like, get the fuck out of my domain. And so he got placed where all the misfits get placed. Right here.
Great. Fucking fantastic. Why do I get all stuck with all of this? What did I
Maybe
fucking
'cause
do
he
to get
thinks
stuck
you
with
can
all of
handle
this?
it.
If I had an answer for you, I'd say, but
I've got fucking
Like
better
I
things
said.
to do.
Like I said, maybe he thinks you can handle it, where others might not be able to.
look at the bright side. Bryan here has some specialties. He can handle himself in a fight, and apparently, He can see things that others can't. So as far as paying rent is concerned, I think he'll be a great addition.
Uh-huh. It's just one more mouth to fucking feed. And it's as if you guys didn't already have heat on your fucking property anyway.
For certain.
Well,
Yeah,
I
we're
mean,
working
it's
on
not
that.
like we could say. It's also not like we could say no. I mean, we go to Queen T, go, hey, we don't want him, you can have him back, and our heads go.
Yeah, Queen T be like that. It's kind of funny, actually, but I digress.
No, you gotta talk about paying rent fast.
Absolutely. And Faust goes over the vast majority of circumstances that occurred for the week. Of course, leaving out any intrusive details. He talks about how from where the coterie left off with Marjani and what she was last previously informed of, and what steps were specifically emphasizes what steps were taken in order to resolve the circumstance, including having coverage in connections within the police force in order to keep it on the DL.
But if you haven't noticed, Mr. Beaufort, that the police presence in your domain has skyrocketed significantly, is that your doing?
Not precisely mine. Seems to be connected to a multitude of factors.
A multitude of factors you probably got your hands in, don't you?
How would you like me to address it?
Well, see, with police sniffing around in your domain, they start sniffing around elsewhere, and my gigs start getting interrupted. Now, I told you when you first started living in that domain that you don't step on my toes. And the police are stepping on my toes.
Well,
The
I
police
could have
having
pointed
that
you in
big
the
of a
direction.
presence is stepping on
Sorry.
my toes.
What if
I
I
would have
told
been. Sorry, Paz, go ahead.
What if I told you that with the connections that we have, we can start arranging it so that they are ignoring your resourcing?
Well, if you have a fantastic idea, I'd love to hear it.
Well, to my understanding, Queen T has been moving homeless population within the area into the area. Now, this benefits you in a multitude of ways, I'm certain. We can establish it, start circulating the gigs that you like to run. Meanwhile, I start moving the police enforcement and law enforcement against rivals.
Uh-huh. So I'm
It's a
guessing this
thought.
is the part where you're wanting to know who my rivals are then.
I believe it would be beneficial, yes.
I'm not ready to give that out just yet. I'll consider it. But for now, things just gotta cool down there. The patrols gotta stop. Things gotta stop being so noisy, goddamn. Fucking. First it's blown up vans, and abandoned cars, and shootouts, and there's just a bunch of shit going on down there.
I would have been able to point you in the direction of someone you could have complained to about that, but they're dead. So.
Basically, things should start cooling down now that that problem's been solved.
I hope so.
And we can use the heat as an opportunity. Which I think is what Faust is trying to get at.
Right. What kind of opportunity?
Make deeper connections within the cops. And maybe if you wanted, we could throw heat elsewhere.
I mean, considering the circumstances, Miss Kalu isn't an intriguing point. We're able to persuade the upstanding gentlemen of the law outside of law. I think it sounds fun. Delightful, even.
What are you, someone who likes to prey on people's vices?
More like, I enjoy hard workers.
Uh-huh. But if they're working too hard and indulging themselves, Mr. Faust, and that's kind of what I'm getting at.
But it leaves room for others to indulge themselves, doesn't it? He just wins.
I don't know. I'm just intrigued on what it is that you have as an idea.
Well,
Like I said, I consider it.
very well. That said,
That said, you haven't really paid rent. Information's all well and good, but what you doing to make sure that the police presence get out?
as I said before, creating connections, slowly weaving them outside.
Okay.
And at this point, we're going to start moving them away from the domain.
And you haven't started doing that yet.
In my defense, I was burnt to a crisp.
Hot damn.
Yeah.
How in the hell did
Yeah,
that
poor-
happen?
I assume you heard about the whole Hunter situation.
Well, I heard about the Hunter situation. I heard about the shootout in the park. I didn't...
All connected.
I see.
And it was us that had to deal with it, and unfortunately Faust copped a incendiary round.
Also heard it's partly your fault.
How'd you hear it's partly our fault?
You're the one who brought Sebastian Moore to Jameson. He was all in a tizzy because you even had that guy following you.
Oh, yeah. That.
Except it wasn't just us.
Hmm.
Nobody
Following
came
a lot of
bothering me.
people.
Nah, but other kindred in the area.
Like who?
Leslie.
Oh yeah, I did hear about
He's
that.
now,
She's missing now.
Hmm.
Damn
We got a
shame.
pretty good feeling it was him.
Who more?
Yeah. It's a good feeling that he caused her to go missing.
I raised it
Although
as a
it's not.
concern to Jameson, but I'll say the same thing to you. I think that this issue that we dealt with was bigger than just us. It wasn't just Queen T, or whatever the fuck her name is, who's moving homeless out. It's the cops that were moving homeless out. More was FBI, meaning he had access to resources and numbers that no one else did.
Uh-huh.
And he claimed to be working for a bigger organization.
Well, ain't that just peachy?
Yeah.
Is that why Jameson told everybody who doesn't have nothing pertinent going on to lay low?
That's exactly why.
Alright.
So, you know, it's a bit more than just our little domain where things went wrong.
Uh-huh.
Seems to me it started up north.
I mean, I ain't heard about no other shootouts going on that are kindred related.
Yeah. We were the ones that had to take care of that shit. And unfortunately, it got a little bit messy while we did.
Well, I'm glad you ain't dead.
So, wait.
Only by like a hair, though.
I will put an amusing visualization in your head.
Yeah.
Whilst it must have been unfathomably painful, Faust, what's the words that the current generation would use? Tanked it like a boss.
Tanked it like a boss. I
Yeah,
mean,
T-posed on him too. On fire, head spread, looking at him like, looking at more like, you really had to go and do that.
I believe the image of Faust on fire is funny enough.
I mean, it is kind of funny. But, nope, I don't like that image. And what the fuck is T-posing?
Faust
Would
just
you like to demonstrate, Faust?
adjusts his tie and puts his feet together and spread wide.
T-posing for Marjani.
And then he stops. And
It's apparently a sign of you think this hurts, come at me, bitch. But am I
It's
wrong
a
in that, Faust?
sentiment I understand, but the posing, I don't get it.
I don't
It
either,
was-
if I'm being honest with you.
it was extremely spur of the moment, and I couldn't resist. Because for once, it was a situation
This must be a
Oh,
young
it's
people thing.
is very much
It's
a young people
definitely a
thing.
young people thing.
And, I ain't that young.
You could have fooled me, Marjani.
I mean, I look good, don't I?
Damn right.
As far as the rest of Rent is concerned, I'm establishing local economy to start building up. With more money circulating through, we're going to be able to see more funds also circulate on the streets.
The funds don't necessarily mean shit if you ain't got blood.
Funds attract more people, which
Which
course,
I'm gonna
it's
be
more
starting
blood.
to ask for.
Funds or people?
People. You start funneling some of your hard-working people down my way, I consider it more part of rent than anything else.
I've also started to gather eyes and ears on the area, both in animals and in homeless.
Well, the animals and the homeless don't help me much. I need people who gonna spend money.
Fair, but it's a good information network that can be put to use.
Just in case another, another fucker like Maul decides to show up.
Another van blows up in your fucking domain?
We'll make sure it blows up in someone else's domain.
Better not be
I'll call
mine.
you. I'll call you during the incident and finally ask you where your enemies are. How's that?
Give them a present.
We'll blow it up
Man,
north
you
next
think
time.
you're
Make a
funny.
deal with it.
I'll think about it. For now,
Fun.
if you're building up people that are gonna be hard-working individuals, I want them individuals to be spending time here at this bar.
I'll make sure your bar is the most popular place in the entire neighborhood.
Good. That's all I want.
Funds, money, people, police.
And the police
Got it.
getting off my back. Yeah. And
Consider
by
it
off
done.
my back, by meaning out of your yard.
Trust me, that behooves us as well.
Then what you standing around here for? Get to it.
Aye, aye.
Well, we figured it was only polite to introduce you to the new face, so, like, that's what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Casually wave a hand.
Alright, well, if that's everything, thanks for your time, Marjani.
You have a good night.
You too. Hope business is booming for you.
We'll see. Maybe I'll expand to a second branch at some point.
Ooh, planning big, eh?
We'll see.
Ambitions.
Ray turns to make her way out.
Faust holds the door for everyone.
Yep. Noel's getting out of there.
Thank you very much.
You didn't say much, Maria. You got something on your mind?
No, ma'am. Just doing my part.
Alright. Get the fuck out.
Get what the get.
Actually, one more thing.
Thought you were
Is
leaving.
there somewhere around here that does underground fighting and wrestling?
Underground fighting and wrestling?
Yeah.
Why?
I need to blow off some steam.
Ray's got a date.
A date?
Trying to make some connections around.
Who's the lucky person you're dating?
That's what I'd like to know too.
Some dude from the Northern Domains. Might know him. Goes by Benji.
Benji. I met him.
Yeah.
I've met him.
Trying to make a few connections here and there.
Yeah, get back to me on that.
Will do.
Wishing you a lovely evening, Miss Cullen. Hope to see you again soon.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Before anything else is spoken, Maria gets the fuck up out of there. Oh, give me Lord, I'm sweating.
Yep.
That was significantly less insults than I'm used to.
Yeah, I'm suspicious of it. She was in a far better mood than I was expecting.
I'm thinking maybe we just need to make every new introduction here forward rent first.
Maybe.
She seems to respond to things going her way pretty well. Expectantly. I've come to a decision on what my ambitions are going to be for the next couple of nights.
Share with the class.
Funds. Blood. People, police. Mostly
Sounds
the
like a plan.
Mostly the blood. You were saying before, Ray, we need to get everyone fed. Now we have an additional member. We need to get everyone fed.
Yep.
Keep up. So, we'll start with that, and, do believe I will be doing some work back at the office for that. I've got some new hires I'm trying to train.
Well,
New hires is a good place to start.
aren't you just moving up in the world?
Ambitious.
Hey, Sam.
Hey, Sam.
Hey.
How you doing, Sammy?
I'm okay. Just, hanging out.
I don't think I've ever ended up seeing you two so cordial, and she was in a good mood. Something you had to say?
Maybe.
Aw, you gonna leave me in the dark on this one?
Well, I mean, she's in a good mood because it's a good night.
Alright.
And it's been a good night for me, and just generally all around good. And
Kind
we
of look
weren't
Sammy up.
we weren't actually
ahead.
fighting today, so it's nice.
Yeah, I know, things are a little out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
But you had a good night? What's the cause of celebration? Oh, sorry. Sammy, this is Bryan, Sammy. Roommate of mine.
So,
And she's small. She's like 5'4". Pleasure to meet you.
pleasure as well.
Bryan. Okay.
You are muted currently if you're trying to say something, Juju.
Oh,
What?
oh,
Oh, it's just not coming through. I think Discord might be doping.
it was coming through for me.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Might just be me then. One moment.
But yeah. Where are you two? Where are you all off to?
I gotta go and find a new project.
New project. Okay.
Yeah. Two I had beforehand kind of bit the dust, and right now we need to end up finding something that'll end up making things work out a little bit, especially since we have a new member.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm just going back home, so.
Miss Jefferson. Out of curiosity,
It's just Sam.
Sam. Out of curiosity,
Uh huh.
where? Hold on, I gotta think about my question. I had a question, then it disappeared.
And it boofed from your brain. Yep.
Ah. Something about something about popular locations. Actually, never mind, I figured out. Out of curiosity. Perchance,
Mm-hmm.
aside from us, is there anyone Ms. Kalu doesn't seem particularly fond of? And I know that's a
I mean, I could rattle off a list of people that she doesn't like, but I think it's a shorter list of people she does.
he tilts his head. That sounds interesting. Perhaps, do you happen to know anyone that you could introduce to us on that list?
I mean, do you have somebody in mind? Because I mean, I get around. I spend a lot of time mingling.
No. It's more so that I'm just curious if there's anything that I can do to help support Miss Kalu. If she's allies with someone, she's allies with them for a reason. Significant one.
Well, I don't think you can go wrong, really, with anyone at the Ministry.
I suppose so. I still do have an appointment with Eva.
I mean, if you want to go talk to Ava, we can go do that. Can maybe get you in.
Would sound delightful. I do have some work going on tonight. Perhaps we can meet tomorrow about this.
It's up to you.
I'll make it worth your while.
Okay.
And, Sam,
Mm-hmm.
thank you for your time.
No problem. Anyway, I'm headed out. I'll see you guys later.
Take care.
That's
Make your acquaintance.
Sorry, what was that, Maria?
Good night.
I was just saying, take care of yourself, Sammy. If you need anything, you know where to find me. I won't be.
Speaking of which,
Oh.
actually, the usual place. You guys don't spend a lot of time there, do you?
I spend a little bit of time there to keep up appearances, but I need to end up. Honestly, Sammy, ever since all this went down, it's just been go, 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 go. I've been busier than a cat dancing on a hot tinfoil roof on a summer day.
I don't know where to find you guys anymore.
I'll end up, if you ever need anything, just leave end up leaving something in the mailbox. Let me know it's you. I'll come here hunt you now.
Okay.
I'll be checking you first thing before the morning, first thing before the evening, as the evening just kicks in.
All right.
That being said, She leans in. You hear anything about this homeless situation?
Just that they're coming down from Queen T. Is that the name we're using for her now?
I still don't fully understand, to be honest with you.
I don't
But I
get it either.
But I do know this. We're going to be getting a whole lot of them. And if Faust taught me anything, it's look for your opportunities where you find them. I think I found a few.
I think I was talking to you about taking advantage of that the other day.
And I think I came up with a few ideas.
Color me intrigued.
When I have something on the ground and the concrete's starting to settle, I'll gladly show you around. If I can use your help, trust me, you will be the first person I can call.
Sounds like a plan.
Take care, Sammy.
It's a pleasure seeing all of you. And she turns around to walk away.
Yeah, let's let it go, and then figure out what we're gonna do next.
So where are all of you headed next?
I think we should take the new guy home.
Yeah, show him around the neighborhood.
Tell him what not to eat.
Yeah.
Sounds like Bryan.
Yes.
You'll have to give us sort of an idea.
Of
Your favorite flavors. Come on, let's make the most of the evening. Before I gotta get back to the office.
favorite flavors, you say? Very much akin to our own.
What?
Thin Bloods.
Right.
Thin Bloods.
That's your flavor.
Yes.
Huh.
What?
Isn't just out of... No, didn't you say that that's what Sanctuary was known for?
Yep. You didn't feed on any of the Thin Bloods in Sanctuary, did you?
Not I'm aware of.
Oh.
Ryan, give me a high or low.
Higher, low?
Choose
Low.
high or low.
Oh, clan low.
Low was the lowest of what he's asking for. No whammies.
Sorry, what was Brian's choice?
Low.
No.
That's a no clan no.
Oh, good.
Brian, you remember one specific one, though.
Yes.
They tasted mortal,
Right.
but it satisfied you. It's the closest thing that you've ever had to a mortal. They were warm. You could have swore they were thin blood, but... And it was satisfying. So it was a confusing one in the moment. But now that you're thinking about it, Yeah, no, you had a satisfying dinner that night.
Oh.
There is the distinct possibility I may have.
Oh. Fuck.
Well, isn't that the area that the host kind of looks after?
Yep.
That
What?
being,
That was.
well, the host being the group that kind of runs Northside.
Faust is just nodding his head.
Yep.
My god, I love you bunch of social fucking rejects. Alright.
Oh,
this is gonna
speak
be
for
fun.
yourself, Faust. Oh God.
Thank you, Faust.
Look,
Kinda wishing we had more. Stuck to the wall. Really wishing
Right.
we had. That would have. Excellent.
Oh, mate, you've got so much to learn about this group.
right.
well.
I'm just now
How about we
thinking
go
that,
home?
What I think was suggest.
What?
You're leaning back too far.
Are we suggesting what I think was suggested?
What do you think we're suggesting?
You know what? The fact that you gotta ask that question means I know smart enough to end up saying move on. She starts walking.
Okay, but let's get you back home, and we got a few rules around Eton,
Right.
so we'll go through them when we get home.
Fine by me.
And Ray's gonna head out of the bar.
I'll follow.
And all of you make your way towards the neighborhood in which you have set up domain. It's a quiet night. There's not really about anybody out, but that's come to be expected because of the recent mishaps going on in the neighborhood. What with the shooting and the muggings and just the other things that keep the people from wanting to venture out in the dark.
Ray parks outside, and when she heads in, she does a quick once-over of the room. Every room that she walks in, she does a quick once-over, making sure that nobody's been inside or tampered with anything. It's become almost a paranoid ritual for her whenever she walks in the house.
And if you would like to do a thorough kind of look through it, then you're welcome to do a wits plus investigation.
Absolutely.
Faust is helping.
+1. You have investigation. Faust.
Checking.
Oh, well, I rolled it with the +1.
Yes, I have a 1 investigation.
Sweet, so that works.
Perfect.
This will be the second time I've seen her do this.
Yep.
What are you
Yep.
looking for, Ray?
So, you know how there was a mention of hunters?
Vague recollection of hearing that conversation.
Yeah, well, a couple of weeks back we found a bug in our house. People listening in.
You don't say.
Yeah. So, now I'm going to be extra careful.
What was the range on the device you found?
Short range.
Like right next door?
Yeah.
When they bring me into the house, what did I see as far as buildings around?
The neighborhood that you're in is fairly well populated. Houses are fairly close with kind of small front yards where there's maybe enough room to put in a driveway towards the back if there's maybe a back garage or a backyard or something of that sort. It's not
Quarter-acre size plots?
yeah, pretty small. And standard kind of urban neighborhood that's pretty well off. It's not run down. It's pretty decent of a neighborhood. And all of the buildings, all of the houses are relatively similar, but not exactly the same.
Okay.
For some reference, due to past events, this is where we like to play people. This is where we make nice with the neighbors, and this is where, as far as anyone's concerned, we contain the facade.
This is where we live. Supposedly.
Welcome to our masquerade.
It's more or less been consecutively decided. Nothing is getting past this door again when it comes to our business.
You mean other than what's already been past the door?
Precisely.
Yep.
So has anybody checked these other houses for communications equipment?
Maria's already done that.
I'm just asking. Did you find anything?
You think if I found something, we'd be continuing on with this conversation?
Apparently not.
The whole hunter situation, we took care of the ones that we knew about. Resulted in 3 deaths. I almost said 2, but it was 3.
3?
Yeah, 3. You've heard the name Sebastian Moore thrown around?
Yes, I have.
Well, he was the head of that little group. He had 2 others that were working with him that we also took care of.
Well, more accurately, Moore took care of. You can see that Maria is very frustrated when she brings it up.
So much so that she starts to fiddle with a necklace around her neck. And that when it comes out, Bryan, you can't help but be a little bit repulsed by it.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Oh, bitch.
Even at the mention of the other 2, Noel's eyebrow twitches involuntarily.
It's a bit of a sore spot for the group at the moment.
Inside that eye twitch. I don't know you well enough, so I don't think I'll use my specialty on it.
Yeah, go ahead and make it inside.
If you're trying to hide it, Noel, then I would want you to make a composure subterfuge.
Yep.
Let's see how well you hide that.
It's insight and wits, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
He may have tried to be subtle, but he's not very subtle about it. He's very perturbed at the mention of whatever it is that they are mentioning right now about people that have died? Question mark?
Right. Big question mark. 3 died, but which 3?
Yeah, it's a bit of a sore spot for our group at the moment. If it was up to us, it would have only been one
Which one?
more. But regardless, I mentioned before, we've got a few rules here.
Yeah.
I've got a thing where I have people in this area that are close to me. You don't touch or break what's mine. Or I touch and break you. I think Maria's in the same boat. She doesn't like what's hers being touched.
I will
So we'll
keep
be
that
cautious about who we eat.
right.
I'll show you around the neighborhood. First a little bit of hunting, we'll end up following each other. Help clear it out. After all... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I said I appreciate that.
It's more on the fact that I don't want you to end up accidentally deciding to end up chomping down on somebody that I might actually end up liking to keep around. You see, the problem that will often end up coming up is that we're a very tight-knit community here. And I just don't want to end up seeing any misunderstandings or something going completely sideways. So, figure it ends up helping us both in the long run.
As Maria's saying that, Ray's gaze actually ticks to Noel and to Faust, and it's not very well hidden.
It took a little back and forth, but we figured out how to interact with each other. As shaky as it was.
It'll take some time.
Things like this always do.
Try not to munch on the animals or the homeless in the area either. Like I said, they've become a more recent integration of information networks. Try and be polite to them if you can.
Yeah.
That being said, I gotta end up finding someone to end up starting. So I'll find out on who's causing trouble in the network. And I'll end up putting them to use. You a God-fearing man, Bryan?
No.
That's a shame.
Why's that?
I usually end up recommending that somebody ends up near spending a lot of time in church. Builds a sense of community. But more importantly, we're going to be working on a project that's going to mean you're going to be visiting one quite frequent.
ST, is that little bright shiny dangly thing still exposed?
Oh yeah, she hasn't tucked it back in her shirt yet.
I think something might be coming up.
You don't want to be anywhere near her, and if she
I,
draws
I,
closer to her,
I will visibly take 2 steps further away from her.
Okay, that would end up striking as odd.
Yeah.
Wits, insight.
anyone who wants to could wits insight. Brian,
Yeah.
that is a composure or manipulation subterfuge.
I guess I'm also checking. Everyone noticed.
Sure. I have no substitute.
You'll still click the
Yeah,
still
And I'm
click
not
the skill.
exactly trying to hide anything either.
Okay. Well, you can choose
Well,
to fail.
you can choose autofail if you'd like,
That's fine.
but it means that
I'm
we're
not
all
trying to
definitely
hide
gonna know. Yep. So
All of you see that his eyes tick right to Maria's rosary, and it seems like his eyes are constantly watching it more than it's watching any of you in the conversation. And when he takes a step back, it's because it kind of flicks towards him and her fingers.
Not a God-fearing man, eh?
No,
You sure about that?
absolutely. Why believe in something outside of myself? Forget what we've done.
Noel holds back a chuckle
Derek,
and clears
you
his throat.
Hold up. Rewind the clock here a minute. She kind of slowly pushes it a little closer to him.
I step further away.
That actually works on you?
Yes.
And if she gets any closer to you, Brian, you're feeling like you're feeling paranoid. You really feel like you should get out of this house.
She
Yeah.
under her shirt.
And when she tucks it back away, it's tolerable. You know it's there, but you don't see it anymore.
I'll return to where I was when the conversation started.
That is really strange. That makes
I have absolutely no faith or belief in whatever that is. But
instinctual, right?
yeah,
You feel like this is just something that cannot be done.
yes.
I think I might get it a little bit more than you might believe.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. But no, there's a.
Excuse me, I
thoughts.
gotta go consult the book. You think she's going for her Bible first, which she probably has in her room, but that's not what she comes out with. She comes out with this really tattered, like overly done
Paperback
highlighter.
copy.
Yeah, paperback copy, highlighted all to hell copy of Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Noel, as Maria comes out with the book, Noel looks at it. He's like, "Oh, right, okay, okay."
What? That's something to say, no.
I was just expecting you to walk out with a different book. That's all.
I believe I'm on the same page with you there, no?
Come
Look,
on, guys. You know that book is like a Bible for Maria.
No.
Pardon sacrilege. But yeah, this is, look, I get, okay, no, you end up coming in here with a whole library of some stuff that I'm not even sure on what end of Satan's butt crack was written out of, but I end up having this to work with. That's it. Me and Brian here end up suffering a very similar condition. This is all I got for reference material. Will you cut me a little bit of slack?
Oh, pardon me. It was not meant. I did not mean to.
Offend?
He can't end up going anywhere near this, and I can't go in any place I'm not welcome.
I didn't mean to string you out over it as well.
Oh,
It's just a amusing
Interesting.
little observation.
But we don't carry it together. That's the part
No.
that's confusing me.
Do you believe in destiny? That even the powers of time can be altered for a single purpose? The luckiest man who walks on this earth is the one who finds true love.
That's
Sure.
fantastic. So you can end up quoting this, but you don't know a lick of scripture.
You said you didn't know what your clan is, didn't you, Brian?
I don't.
Right. Well, maybe you can start comparing or whatever. So I'm actually from Clan Gangrel. Noel here is Banu Hakim.
Banu Hakim. Yes.
Banu Hakim?
Banu Hakim.
That's what he said. Bono Hookham.
Val is from Clan Ventru. And Maria's a special case from Clan Zemitsi.
Interesting.
So I have to end up pulling from whatever I can end up getting my hands on. In early days, when somebody ended up telling me when I end up asking what the hell Zamisi is, they said that's what Dracula was. I'm like, are you kidding me? So yeah, this is my reference material. I'm sorry. Deal with it.
Well,
No apologies necessary.
No, you can.
You use what's on
This is
hand.
getting to her for some reason. This is really getting to her.
All right.
It is a rumor that I have heard, hearsay, nothing more, that there's apparently some truth in that statement, but I wouldn't know.
That the clan of the Tepesh might live? Air quotes
Look,
live.
folks,
That we might be, all of us, somehow very
Can you
distantly
repeat that?
related to goddamn Dracula.
Sorry, Brian. You were trying to say something.
I was asking whoever just spoke before Noel to repeat themselves because I could not hear.
Ah, I just mentioned that the clan of the Tepesh still live.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly. But maybe you and Maria can find some common ground, Ryan.
Maybe not in a church, though.
Yeah. So Maria, you can't enter anything with a threshold unless invited. Is what I'm taking
I
from.
can. It's just taxing as all hell, and the results are less than pleasant.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we end up having that little tip in common. I don't know. Noel, is there something like, does that. What? So, what? We're getting different pieces and parts from each. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm looking at this, and here's the whole package. Here's half the package there. Here's half the package here.
It's like this. We, as kindred, whilst this is disputed, and Maria, don't bring this up anywhere near Carnage. Whilst it's contested who we come from, one of the main beliefs is that we come from Cain. The first murderer cursed by God. Apparently, if the myths are to be believed, he was the first of us. And that all of our lines extend back to him. I imagine through time as Cain sired, and his child is sired, and his child is sired, and so on and so forth down the generations. There develops different lines with different aspects of a curse. Of the curse. The Nosferatu struggle with hideously deformed disfigured appearances. Among the Malkavians deal with their delusions and madness. All the other clans deal with their specific little weaknesses and idiosyncrasies, and sometimes amongst different lines share different parts of the myth. Some get hurt by having holy symbols bared before them. Some cannot enter past the threshold of a house without invitation. Some are compulsed to count seeds that have been spread in front of them. Some don't like garlic. It's a... These traits seem, from the little that I know about it, to be spread asymptomatically amongst the different lines of kindred, the different clans. One, it seems to differ from individual to individual. One might have it, while another one might not. So, it could be, Maria, that you are unique. You are one of the few amongst clans of Misi who cannot cross the threshold unless invited.
Maria doesn't speak. She just looks incredibly dejected.
But
I think the
They
point
could-
he's trying to get is that they're individual quirks. They're not necessarily a clan thing.
But it does sometimes occur that these quirks get passed from sire to child along different lines. So, who knows? Maybe it could be that several generations back, somewhere along the line, you two shared some kind of ancestor, maybe. I mean, it would be the case for all of us that we have a common ancestor in the first. But maybe you share one that's a little later down the line. Who knows? But
Curiosity. You mentioned before that you don't recall a maker, so to speak.
None at all.
How did you realize what you were? How did you wake up?
A very generous man in Dallas area took me under his wing. After I woke up.
Dallas.
Oh,
Well, see, now I'm going to ask the awkward question. What killed you?
Don't know.
Don't remember?
No clue.
So just one day you just died.
You remember being dizzy.
Went out to the store, and on my way there, the only recollection I have of any of it is about halfway there, being overcome suddenly with severe dizziness.
Mm.
The next thing I know, I'm waking up and starving. But
Were
not
you in this?
food, as a mortal would eat. Shortly thereafter, as I said, had the benefit of finding a very generous man who took me under his wing and began to teach me exactly what it is that I am.
Huh.
He sent me out here about 6 months ago.
Interesting. It's like,
Very nasty business there in Dallas. I don't recommend anybody trying to visit.
You and I both.
seems like we've got a few people from Dallas around.
Well, as far as anyone is aware, Dallas was and possibly still is undergoing a purge.
They are. As I said, I wouldn't recommend anybody attempting to visit at the moment.
Messy business.
Noel,
Right.
it's almost as if the hairs on the back of your head start to stand. Was Ollie alright?
I'm not gonna mention anything about it, but the thought does rest in the back of my mind. Brian,
Yes.
I have to ask, how did you come across your taste for Thin Bloods?
It was always there. Not so much necessarily Thin Bloods, but any of our kind.
Oh, great. We're dealing with a goddamn cannibal.
Hey!
Bloodly.
I take offense to that.
Sorry, Ray. Title's been taken from you.
Fuck!
Yeah, difference is
I-
I don't have to worry about Ray and if he coming to eat me.
I've
So you
heard.
feed on other kindred.
Yes. Nothing
Huh.
else would sustain me. Mortals are less sustenance than food.
That's fucking whack.
I've heard of this. It's actually something that's not too uncommon amongst my clan's elders. But it's problematic.
That's exactly what my generous benefactor told me. I know I got trouble here in the area with Camarilla trying to step in and take over, but beyond that, I'm not too keen on all the politics of the area. However, I am aware that my feeding and the way in which I feed is problematic for myself and anyone close to me.
I'm just seeing more and more reasons why. What the fuck were we calling her? Queen Tea? I
Queen
want to get rid of
Tea.
you. Holy hell.
As for as I told Benji, I have absolutely no clue as to why first time I meet Miss Altenberg is to tell me I'm no longer welcome. Can
Oh,
specific interactions that would have led to this?
no one
Maybe
to
your
vouch for
reputation
you.
preceded you. Regardless, since you've told us this, it's only fair I tell you. My way of feeding people don't survive.
Interesting.
In order to eat effectively, I actually have to eat the flesh.
Hmm.
So if you see bits sitting in the fridge, that's for me.
Of course.
Well, I mean, at the very least, you don't have to worry about him eating your food.
Not at all.
And you see that Noel just has this look of concern on his face.
Brian will tell you he recognizes that look.
Maybe,
So
but maybe
how?
not.
So how do we get around your style of feeding? Because if mortal blood doesn't work for you, then we need to figure something else out. And these three are almost always bloody hungry.
Thin bloods and enemies. That's about the only way you can sort out something like that.
I'm told there is another way for me to feed. It's just not as filling as for my preference.
Well, sharing is caring.
Primarily that being of animal.
I hate that bitch, by the way.
Do what?
Mitch to Karen, I hate that bitch. Look, I'm trying to end of causes whatever levity we can, because right now I am very uncomfortable with this conversation.
Yeah, I know.
My
It's a
mentor
conversation we need to have.
that there is a way for me to feed. It's just not as filling as my preferred, being that of animal blood, or what's the term they used? Blood bagging?
Bags are normally mortal blood. Cold. Normally fractionated.
Ugh.
And Brian, you would know, you've tried it once before. It's disgusting, and you hurled it up as straight as you drank it.
Yeah. Blood bagging's just not gonna work at all.
Doesn't cut it.
Not
So
I
it's
don't blame you, it's kind of gross.
no, it's animals or kindred.
so. It's basically it's animals or kindred. Is
Yeah.
Understood. You know, I never thought I would grow up to be a farmer.
Oh, here in Texas we call those ranches.
Can we keep the sheep shagging out of this, please?
That actually wasn't anything in what I said, but okay.
Yeah, I'd like to keep the sheep fanging out of this too.
Noel just kind of looks to Ohore with an eyebrow raised, like, you know there's a joke that I could make here.
If you start making jokes about my heritage and sheep shagging, I'm gonna kick your ass, Noel.
Hey, you said it, not me.
Right, so bags don't work for you. Have you tried animals before?
Have I tried?
Given your mentor's profession, you're pretty sure that you tried it? Tastes goddamn disgusting.
The most disgusting thing I've ever tasted in this, whatever you want to call existence.
Okay, but could you keep it down?
Did it stay down?
It stayed down. But
Yeah.
you're pretty sure that you felt a little twinge of your soul? Personality?
Okay.
Start to get a little bit shaky.
It stayed down where the bag did not, but again, I would prefer to avoid that if at all possible.
We can't exactly have you running around feeding on unwilling participants around the city.
That's dangerous for them and dangerous for you.
Fine, I'll do it.
You'll do what?
You need blood. You need somebody that you can end up taking out of. And bluntly, if you take from anybody else here, I don't end up trusting anybody but a Hore to end up you off, and that right there is a dubious prospect given your size. No offense, Ray. You just a big man there.
That's alright. His size doesn't really matter. But,
Dog and fight, it's the fighting the dog.
Well, one way or another, you're a goddamn cannibal. God, sorry.
I was thinking on it, actually. Is it possible that we can all put towards it?
If we keep the whole coterie fed. That
Alright,
is, the rest of us that
I can help y'all keep this place protected, but
That is yet to be seen, but I'm looking forward to the enthusiasm.
as far as for anybody's feeding, yeah, I don't believe I'll be going on any hunts.
no. Potentially not. Not unless we give you one. Not unless we all decide you have one, including yourself.
Okay. Fair enough.
I gotta think about this. But all in all, I think all of us need to consider. Bryan, if we take you on, you understand that the responsibility of yourself, your feeding habits, is something we also take on.
I do.
And we need to be accountable as a coterie.
As I said, my mentor explained as much to me.
The terms and conditions of which, if you were to feed on any of us, there is an invisible contract that is written in the blood of a kindred such as ourselves. The idea and the intent could definitely be to make sure you are fed on anything else but. We don't have the resources. We have plenty of enemies, but no backing to support. Not yet.
Right.
I leave that consideration to you.
Anyone unwilling is off limits. If you are willing, that's another matter.
Like I said, I'll take it on.
Duly noted, Maria, and I do
As
appreciate.
will I.
Well, fact of the matter is that I'm the only one here, as far as I know, that has a way of getting you away if anything were to go awry. So ironically, I have a little bit of more, worst case scenario. She kind of reaches to the rosary that's under her shirt. Worst case scenario, at least I can get you off with me without it turning into a problem, right?
Your hand moves to your neck, and his eyes immediately lock onto your hand.
She doesn't bring it out. She just makes it clear the only reason she's agreeing to this is she at least believes that she has a way to get out of it in case you lose your shit.
Yes.
Right. My major concern about that, though, is your talents cost a lot of blood, Maria.
Yeah, but I'm not the one who's going to be end up asking for it at all times, right? That's what we got you for, and now he's here to end up lightening the load.
Right.
So, let's just...
Bite the bullet.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
what
going
we
to go
need.
out hunting right now just to end up getting this started. I got a few things I need to do. If you want, Mr. Matthews, you're welcome to come along. Maybe I'll introduce you around. That, and I gotta end up seeing on if any of this transient business ended up walking around in our neighborhood.
I can accompany you so far as to before you hunt, as far as introductions are necessary, but your
what?
hunt is on your own. I can't help you with your hunting.
Kind of raises a brow. What you talking about?
As I mentioned, I have tried the other means, and
I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about me. You helping just means that you end up helping me either keep an eye out, near track something. I'm not asking you to put your teeth into somebody.
Basically, you just make sure that nobody catches her or that she
I can
doesn't
watch your
influence
back,
someone.
is what I'm saying, but that's as far as it can go.
That
I'll
was the
have to
point.
be. Alright. I'm gonna grab some things. I'm gonna go get Diamond. See y'all. Maria at this point does in fact go back to her room with her copy of Bram Stoker's Dracula and eventually comes out with a bag.
Hmm.
I have business to attend to for the rest of this evening, so.
And before long, a snake starts to slither out of that bag and up and around Maria's arms.
Oh, it's a little
Hey,
diamond.
Diamond.
She kind of lets it crawl up on her.
And as you approach the other members of your coterie, though, his rattle does start to go violent.
Alright. That's enough. I start to end up keeping them away. Told you now. He's very protective of me.
It eventually does start to quiet down.
I see.
She starts to end up slithering back into the bag. You know, it's kind of funny when you end up hearing about purse snatchers. Is it wrong? That's a part of me that's kind of wishing I could be a fly on the wall when they open the bag.
Lord.
Grandpa used to end up here putting a little bit of rattler venom in his coffee. It was one hell of a kick. Died before I could try, but I'm wondering if the same effects might be present. Something to experiment with, anyway.
Interesting.
She starts to make her way to the door unless Bryan has anything else he wants to ask or the coterie has anything to do.
I have none. If anyone else has anything, I'll be following Maria.
Bryan, before you go, a word.
As you wish.
And Noel's gonna wait for everyone else to exit before he says anything.
All right.
Further down the rabbit hole we go. Good evening, gentlemen. Ladies.
A pleasure, Faust.
Faust
Evening,
makes
Mr. Buford.
And Faust makes his way off towards the office. Ray, where are you headed?
At the moment, Ray's actually gonna pop out into the backyard.
All right.
And as Maria heads out, Noel will also sit her. Won't be a moment with him.
All
So he
right.
won't be waiting too long.
And
I'll do it.
And once the two are alone, Noel stands in the middle of the room for a moment before looking to you.
You said you wanted a word with me.
Yes, but this is less of a word and more of a warning. Drinking kindred blood is no laughing matter. In fact, it can result in some very unfortunate circumstances.
Yes.
So this is a warning to you, considering Ray and Maria are going to step up to feed you. If I get even the hint of a feeling that things are going to go too far and one of them is going to turn to ash or worse, and this is non-negotiable, mind you, I will kill you where you stand.
I assume
Am
that's
I
what you say as much.
I'm glad that we're clear on that. I don't want to have to, but if it ends up coming to it, I will. You can go ahead and join Maria. I have my own places to be tonight, and I'm gonna head for Alia's. I need to talk with someone who's knowledgeable.
All right.
I'll make my way out and try find Maria.
And she's out in the front yard waiting for you.
If you're ready.
Maria's in her car. You can see that she's put a purse in between the driver and passenger side. You can also see that she's checking the glove box, trying to end up making sure. Yeah, she's got duct tape, a few zip ties of unusual size. And you can continues to end up making sure that she's got all the equipment she might need just in case. Closing up, she ends up stepping into the car. We're gonna start asking around. I need to end up finding out a few things. I'm gonna end up seeing on what these transients are offering. Ray needs to end up here, keep them all in one place, but I'm sure there's more than one or two who might be making that a little bit more difficult, so I figure we might speed along the process.
Okay.
You nervous?
Not at all.
Got more muscles than sense then. She starts up the car. And she is going to start more of an investigation. She's trying to end up seeing if any of the transient individuals, any of the homeless, have actually started to make their way into this specific neighborhood, their domain. And she's also looking for anyone who might be a disruptive force to what's being proposed by Ray.
Then I would say that that is a wits or resolve investigation plus lane. And if Brian has an investigation dot, you can do it at assistance. But if not, then it's just straight. Just that.
Do you have
That's all on. No.
Okay. 5 successes, that's pretty good.
That is pretty good. As far as disruptive forces, nothing particularly, except for like the police disrupting what could be considered the underground of this particular neighborhood, as given their presence, finding those who are indeed homeless isn't necessarily hard to do. It's just a matter of finding someone who is solitary, finding someone who you can get away with and have the opportunity to bring back for whatever your purposes are. Finding them's not the issue.
Yeah. But it's more trying to end up weeding out if there's anyone that Ray wouldn't mind going missing, because then here they're, well, being in the homeless shelter, you know that there's a few who make it hard to sleep at night, and you always keep your shoes on because of them.
And so you do know that there are a couple of groups that kind of skirt, as far as their living places or their meeting places and things, kind of skirt around the border of your domain, and your domain's pretty small. They kind of keep on the outside of this neighborhood because this neighborhood is fairly nice. If they were to take shelter in an abandoned home, for instance, it wouldn't be long before somebody found them out.
Then I think it is time for me to end up doing a hunting roll.
For that hunting roll, I'm going to call for an intelligence streetwise.
Intelligence streetwise? Okay. I thought it was just gonna... right, nope. I understand where you're going with this, and it's only 2 dice, so I'm never gonna make it.
You
So
have spies?
No, it's, I have, my primary predator type means they have manipulation subterfuge. That's what I was about to roll, but the roll called was streetwise and intelligence. Maria has no streetwise and only
You on
2 dots of
streetwise?
intelligence. So even if she had an assist, she wouldn't be able to end up making the chase for the domain. Unless a crit, and you really don't want her to crit.
No, I do not.
By the way, Maria, you are at Hunger 1 for the start of the week.
Okay.
You are not at Hunger 3.
Okay, I thought it was still there.
No.
Okay.
I started everybody at Hunger 1 for the new season. I just didn't actually adjust the sheets myself.
That's all right. Okay. Well, that was what I was predicating on. So if that's the case, I am going to introduce him by going to a diner and trying to end up here talking to a dear friend of mine. See how she's holding up.
So you're not actually going to be.
Well, this
taking
was
somebody-
primarily a hunting thing, while potentially getting the opportunity. But I guess we're here. We'll continue it.
Yeah, if you're still wanting to take somebody for your experiments, then I would still consider that an intelligence streetwise.
Okay. Well, we'll give it a roll then.
I have 2 dots in streetwise.
So you didn't
Fantastic.
Get
That
an
means one for the assist, making it 3 dice. I'm gonna willpower. Wow, 5 dice and nothing.
Nothing at all.
Not a crit. Not a spectacular failure though.
No, not a bestial failure, so no compulsion or anything. But you just can't find the right opportunity. There are plenty of people here, but they're all in groups. You have a feeling with this many groups, some people will be missed.
Yeah.
You might have to go outside of your own domain, or the outskirts of your domain to do that.
I got to turn it.
That's risky
Just a
business.
small group.
Groups of about like 3.
Oh, okay. I was thinking 2.
Fact of the matter is, yeah, Brian. This is that awkward moment where you gotta be patient. Time and opportunity will come, that's what I'm told.
It always does if you're patient enough.
I need to end up finding something. So you're not good with churches either, then, man.
Nothing that would be iconically considered a holy symbol.
Wow. And you have absolutely no belief, despite the fact of everything that has been presented to you.
None.
You do know why it was that Noel was laughing at that statement, right?
Because the reaction I had when you pulled that little dangly bit out.
Because you're a dead man, you're something that shouldn't exist. By all technicality, you are dead. It's supposed to be on a morgue, a slam, an oven, or a dirt nap. Nothing more. You're still walking around, feasting on the blood of the innocent.
Not so innocent, but
Whatever you need to do to justify it, right?
no justification. The people I feed on tend to feed on others, so
We're not people.
well, still a person. however you see your existence, some part of you still remains. Otherwise, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
Well, I suppose the worst case scenario is stop looking for one of them. Kind of turns to you. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Fact is that she just kind of looks out. She's watching these individuals, all without home, all without shelter. Half of them hungry, maybe a few of them high. When I look at them, I have to remind myself that somewhere out there is an individual who I can justify what I'm about to do. But I need to get started on this. You understand what a herd is, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Our turn. Yeah. Well, I got a project in the making, inspired by something we started. And unfortunately, well, I need to end up keeping things out in mind. So outside of keeping an eye out, how do you figure this situation should play out? Try to find somebody who won't be missed, nobody's gonna care, and who, if we end up losing ourselves to our worst impulses, well, we don't have to worry about sirens coming in. How would you go about it?
Quietly.
Obviously, but I mean, come on.
That means using your observational and intelligence skills to notice what's around you and find somebody that seems
Well then, go on.
on there. And if you had the time, preferably to watch and observe them. Find out if there's anybody that comes and goes or they're in continued contact with. But as this seems you're a little rushed, I'm basically rolling the dice and hoping that whomever you choose fits those qualifications.
Well, to be fair, the qualifications I'm looking for is just two. One, somebody won't be missed. Two, somebody who, when they're gone, doesn't end up making life more difficult for the other three. Outside of that, I don't care if it's someone who's homeless or the President of the United States at this point. I'm having fun with them all.
As I said, it's rolling of the dice, but merely you pick the target and you try to follow. If we don't have that kind of time, then it's a crapshoot.
Well, you said that you had good eyes. What do you see? She kind of spreads her hands out as though to look through the windshield. Tell me what you see. See what he trying to put him to work. See what he can do.
Brian, if you would like, you can make me a wits awareness.
Oh, right.
Wilson.
Wits awareness.
You can add a +1 modifier.
I heard you. And at this time, I'm going to sense the beast.
And also sense the beast. Okay. Go ahead and roll that as well.
Modifiers.
No, no modifiers on the discipline. No, actually, +1 for you.
Already rolled it.
You can roll one more d10.
How do I do that?
Or you can re-roll the skill, or do a
Okay,
willpower
re-roll the
re-roll
skill.
button.
Alright. Where are you? Let's do this. I'll just 1.
Okay. Maria, are you trying to hide the fact that you're kindred right now?
Nope.
Nope. The only beast that you sense in the area, Bryan, is Maria.
Yeah, right beside me.
Other than that, there's no others in this area. It's really just the two of you. But as far as what you see around the neighborhood,
Yeah.
it's pretty empty. There may be groups of people that are hanging out, but they're only hanging out in groups, and
Right.
they're few and far between. A lot of the neighborhood is barred up, or has locks, or has alarm systems, or anything of that sort that you could see because they post.
I will relate it from that to Maria. That this is fairly isolated pockets of small groups, but groups. Anything that might be interested in it, odd or send signals straight to people we don't want alerted.
Well,
Where would you go from here?
patience. I think about now, I'm gonna go check in on some of the regulars. My part of the job out of all this is to end up keeping an eye on the neighborhood. Nolan's persisting with the knowledge base. Ray's the heavy. I'm also particularly inclined for dealing with other kindred. Faust is trying to end up getting the income and resources in order to get us what we need. That leaves me to be the eyes, ears, and see what's going on in our little neck of the woods. So I'm gonna go to her, get some information, see what she's seen, and end up there and seeing if there's any problems that might be happening in our little domain.
Okay.
I think for the moment, however, we're going to check in with Noel, as he has gone to Alia's to perhaps have a conversation with his sire. And you arrive seeing that she is indeed home, and she's poring over a book, as is the usual with her.
Yes. Yes, that is actually perfect. She's in a reflective mood where she's reading a book. I need to ask you about something. Because I imagine the regular greetings and sitting in the sitting room and everything is all
Hmm.
has all been done.
Yes.
And Noah would be sitting there with a pensive look on his face.
What's on your mind?
Like, I need to ask you some. Suppose the way I would put them would be delicate questions.
Delicate.
Yes, entering topics of kindred that kindred normally don't like talking about.
I see. I see. You know that you can ask me any questions. And when we are
Regarding
alone
the
specifically.
Regarding the clans,
Yes.
I mean, you taught me about the existence of the 13.
That is true.
Is there a way to identify someone's clan if they don't show any outward symptoms?
Outward symptoms. You mean
For
like,
example, like the Nosferatu curse or
well,
the
I know of a ritual in which one can determine quite a number of things about a specific kindred if given enough of their blood. It's kind of builds upon what you already know with your identification. It takes a little longer to do and requires a lot more of the subject you're identifying's blood, but it is possible, yes.
right.
Is that one you are wanting to learn?
It's definitely on the list. But no, the reason I ask, we've had a new kindred placed under our care,
I see.
and he has absolutely no idea as to who his sire is or where he hails from.
Hmm. Yes, this particular ritual that I do know can identify those things, yes.
Okay. Because you've taught me about the 13 and about thin bloods. Are there any other ways that our particular nature manifests within individuals?
Does this individual give you cause to suspect that they might be something else?
No, he strikes me as very much kindred, but I'm not sure as to the specifics, and with some other things that have come up.
To be quite honest, my child, it is quite unusual for others to divulge their clan. Or at least it is common enough for them to keep it a secret.
Yes, but he was very open with the fact that he didn't know.
Well, what disciplines does he know? Perhaps you could.
He
Perhaps
said-
it is a matter of deduction.
He did say that he could see things that others could not. So that says to me, Auspex.
I see.
He hasn't shown anything else so far, so I am still looking. It's just, I find it so strange that he has no idea what he is. And considering we had to collect him from Elysium,
Elysium. I've been
the
poring
enforcer
off of a
that
book
was
all
waiting
day.
for us.
Sorry, what?
And considering we had to collect him from Elysium, it felt that the enforcer that was there taking care of him from Baron von Sventgals Waltenberg's domain, he didn't know what this kindred was either.
How peculiar. It is
But it
rare to happen that a kindred is embraced without a clan. They're called caitiff, but it is fairly rare, and it's usually one of those kinds of things that means that there was a flaw in the embrace somehow. The blood works in really weird ways, and not every kindred is made with a clan, and not every kindred is made with enough thickness to their bloods to be considered kindred at all. The thin bloods,
Yeah.
for instance.
yes, those are thin bloods.
Thin bloods
I
and
hadn't
caitiff can happen in any generation of kindred, but it's far more common for those so far removed from our progenitor.
Well, he did not strike me as thin blood. So, but this concept of caitiff, it's not something I'd even considered before. Being embraced as true kindred, but without a clan.
And because of the mystery of the origin, many caitiff are feared as suspicious. Can never truly trust what it is that they know, or what it is that they're capable of. You can, based on the kinds of things that come up when it comes to personality types, when it comes to the kinds of things that start to happen when the blood manifests, there are stereotypes for these clans for a reason. But with the caitiff, there are no stereotypes. You can't gauge them based on others of their clan, because there is no clan.
They are unique in a sense, and then that
Truly
makes them
unique.
exceptionally dangerous.
Unique as the individual is.
I see.
So one cannot make assumptions about them unless they know them very well.
Right. Well, he has been placed under. If that was the case, if they are seen as suspicious, it would make sense why he was placed. Why not only Jameson decided to take him on, but why Jameson decided to stick him with us.
If you suspect
I
that he
mean-
has a clan, then that would be easy to deduce. Watch his movements. Watch his... what it is that he does in the way that he does it.
Yeah.
Push
Well,
comes
that
to
was the
shove,
idea.
the ritual can be done. It is just dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah. Consumption of vitae. I mean, you and I both
would be
know
a great
that I
risk
know
to
how
myself.
dangerous it is.
It would be very risky for me. So it would be a pretty high cost.
I would not expect you to take a costume like that. I would ask that you teach me and that I would do it myself.
I
I
would
don't want
not
to
have
put you
you
at that
do
level
such
of
a
risk.
thing. I would sooner take on the risk than risk you.
I appreciate that. But no, this has given me insight. I'm going to be tracking him, seeing what he's capable of, the disciplines that he knows. Because, I mean, whilst he said he could see things that others can't, whilst that says aspects, he could also be lying.
It could be meaning a bunch of different things.
Hmm.
For instance, can you see in the dark?
No.
Can you sense the
I mean-
beast in someone?
I cannot.
These are
But-
things that cannot be seen
Hmm.
by the
Well,
normal
those-
individuals.
Oh, I mean, I remember you teaching me about those signs of animal empathy and shape-shifting. Things found amongst, as you had said, most commonly, both of those things could be found amongst Clan Gangrel.
That's true.
But I know that the shifting can also be found amongst the Ministry Setites. Hmm. He's capable of get a better idea of.
Yes. Perhaps that will be a bigger clue. As I said, the ritual can be done, and I can do it anytime you would like. So long as I had enough time to prepare.
No, I would. If that does need to happen, I will make sure that everything is prepared adequately to reduce the risk as much as possible. Although, with how much suspicion was thrown on him from the things that he said, because he had seen Baron von Sventgals-Waltenberg once, and she wanted him out of her domain as soon as possible.
Toreador can be quite flighty.
Yeah. Yeah, I had pointed that out to my coterie mates that those of the Clan of Roses can tend to be flighty or high-strung, or there is a multitude of reasons as to why, but just with the things that I've found. I just... You can see why I came to ask you for advice.
Yes, you are quite puzzled. It is well written all over your face.
I've never been much of a manipulator, so... But... Is there...
Is that what?
With the idea of caitiff, is there any... Is it exceptionally uncommon? Like 1 in 1,000? Or 1 in 10,000? Or is it just...
That's assuming that there are that many kindred in an entire city. Or in the entire world. They are rare enough. You only maybe have a population of a couple in a large city like... Oh, I don't know. Something as large as New York. Maybe it has 5. But San Antonio is a bit smaller than New York.
Quite.
There are no known
What
caitiff
about...
here in the
What
city.
about Dallas?
Dallas? I would imagine
Would
there are
Dallas be large enough to...
There would be several, I would imagine. But I am not connected there to know the exact numbers for sure.
If it's large enough to have several, then that's enough.
That's assuming.
Right now, I think...
That's also assuming that there are. It is often advantageous for a caitiff to not reveal it. Blend in where
Masquerade is another clan.
Blend in where they fit.
Yeah. Well, this gives me an idea. Because... I mean, I couldn't imagine how hard it would be to live with the thought of not knowing where it is that I came from. I mean, Maria doesn't know her sire at all, but at the very least, she knows what... a little of what she is.
But to
I
truly
can
not
imagine. To know nothing.
It's very sad. But it is often the plight of caitiff that are abandoned anyway.
But
so far as I know.
It gives me a way that I might be able to tackle this. I'm gonna try and help him find out. But for the time being, I mean, he's already been tossed in with the suspects. What one would call the city's unmentionables. Maybe it might be an idea to, for the time being, and until we find out otherwise, consider the possibility that he's caitiff. And I'll help him find out whether that assumption is true, or whether he can put himself to one of the 13. At the very least, I can confirm he's not a thin blood. So...
Did you have any other questions for me?
No, that was that was it. I
Alright.
just needed to make sure that I wasn't going absolutely insane, racking my brain over this. Because when you put a complex enough puzzle in front of me, you know how I can get.
You tend to focus very hard to the point that you start to ignore things that are necessary.
Yeah. And this, well, helps give me some perspective. Keep my eyes open and not tunnel vision.
Yes.
I'm gonna get out there and figure out what the rest of the coterie is doing.
Fantastic.
Trying to keep it down low, what with everything that's happened over the past little while.
Yes, it is important to keep things on the, how do they call it? The down low? The download?
Yeah. The down low, yes. But no, that insight helped me a lot. Thank you, Alia.
I am always here to give you insight when you need it.
And I appreciate it more than I could put into words. I'm gonna get back to it. You have a good rest of your night, and if that ritual ends up being necessary, I will contact you about it.
Absolutely. I will go back to my book.
And with that, he'll give his farewells to his sire and let her get back to reading.
Ray, what were you intending to do?
You're muted.
Sorry about that. So Ray was gonna have a little chat with her new little squirrel friends around the house, and then I don't know. She didn't really have much that she needed to get done today.
Okay. Then I think that's a good point where we're gonna call it for tonight. Thank you to my lovely cast for playing today.